Now? Now? Hello. This is my special and is for 90 minutes. ABC told me that I could have a special. And so, they give me $100,000 and they say, you can do whatever you want with this money. So I was supposed to, hire writers and guests. But I was so lazy. And so, I did not do it. So I went on vacation with the money, and now I have nothing left but just for this one camera and this chair, So there is no special, just me. I have no material, no guests, nothing. Right? So we will just sit here like this for 90 minutes. They think I am fooling. It's like a joke. No, it's not a joke. You think I am fooling, but in half an hour, you see I will be sitting here and you'll say, oh, he is not a joke. Da 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 da. Now that we have lost the audience, and now only my friends are watching, I would like to show my special.
I'm Uncle Andy. We're gonna have a lot of fun today. I'm Uncle Andy. In the good old USA. Uncle Andy. We're gonna have fun today. Uncle Andy. In the good old USA. And here's my dog,
The brilliance of Andy is that he would use himself as the guinea pig, as the behavioral scientist. He is Dr. Jekyll, experimenting on himself.
Thank you very much. Sin debatika? Ha? Si me do debitiko dia bo? Na so debitiko dia ma. Si botin de fasike dia ba. Ha? Suma de punti kile petike. Su sabadan debitika dia bo?
No.
Oh.
When you talk to all of Andy's childhood friends and all the people that he hung out with, and they said, Jesus, he drank more and popped more acid and smoked more grass than all of them combined.
He was part of the freak community. There was maybe like 5 freaks, and this is early 60s, and we were sort of like hippie folk singer types, We took group acid trips together, and in Greenwich Village, and did all kinds of things together.
As a teenager, I was part of a group, a group of friends who took drugs a lot, and we liked it and enjoyed each other's company and enjoyed getting stoned together.
We were all thinking, what's going to happen to Andy? We're starting to get near graduation. This one's going to do this and this one's going to do that, you think, But what in the world is Andy going to do? It's like he's not prepared to do anything. He's had straight D's his whole scholastic career. He's just not part of this world.
I went to college to study to be in television, and I said to myself, now what do I want to do with my life? I mean, do I want to keep getting stoned, which I don't really enjoy all that much, or do I want to really do something with my life, Yeah. I want to be on television. I want to be successful at what I do.
And I say to you that life's a gambler, head and shoulders above us all.
In 1969, determined to become a successful entertainer, Andy enrolled in Boston's Graham Junior College to study radio and television.
Your money. I know the road they're on. I've walked their crooked mile 100 times or more. I drank their cup of bile. They watched their dreams go down behind the setting sun. They walk without a sound, the desperate ones.
With his meditation practice helping him to overcome his shyness, Andy performed in student productions.
So I crept like a snare through the days of my life. No more you hear my footsteps in the morning, resounding on the hollow sidewalk, going to the grocery store for a little cornmeal and a nickel's worth of bacon.
The first time I ever saw Andy was at the Improv. It was late at night. It was his breakfast show. He used to have this show that he put on, or that he and Bud put on at 2 o'clock in the morning, where he had his, it was the whole talk show format, where in between the breaks he would abuse Bud, as you know, the man. He would break out of this very sweet character and become very abusive.
The first time I saw Andy was in 1974 in June, probably like around June 20th or something. I saw him at the Improv in New York, and he was this pathetic comedian who got up on stage and started reading from The Great Gatsby.
Only Gatsby, the man who gives his name to this book. Gatsby, only Gatsby was exempt from my reaction. Gatsby, all right, now look.
And it was just like horrible, and we were so embarrassed that we were sitting there and watching him. And then all of a sudden he went into his Elvis imitation, and he was brilliant, of course.
One for the money, one for the show. When you get ready now, go, cat, go, but don't you step on my blue suede shoe. You can do anything but over my blue suede shoe. Let's go, cat.
It was amazing. I saw him do outrageous stuff. It was always that he kept trying. He never wanted to be, he kept pushing it. So as soon as people saw one thing, he would do something else.
Thank you very much.
That was an interesting experience where everyone in America thought he was a foreign person.
Thank you very much. I am very happy to be here tonight. But you know, it's one thing I don't like about Los Angeles is too much traffic. You know, tonight I had to come from Santa Monica. I was on the freeway, and you know, it was so much traffic, it took me an hour and a half to get here. But talking about the terrible things, my wife, please take her. No, really, I am only fooling. I love my wife very much, but she don't know how to cook. You know, one night she make me steak and mashed potato, and the night before she makes spaghetti and meatballs. Her cooking is so bad, it's terrible. But you know, I would like to tell you the story of the 3 people who was carrying the biggest cannon in the world to Spain. It was 2 boys and 1 girl, and they had this big cannon. You know, it was 50 feet long, and they carried it over the mountains and under the valleys. And one day they get to the top of the highest mountain in Spain. So the first boy, he point this cannon to this castle, you know, to shoot. You know, because because he was the boss, you know, so he want to point it. And he turned to the second boy and he say, all right, hand me the cannonball. And you know, but the second boy, he say, I thought you had them. So wait, so listen, wait. So, listen, wait. So they both turn to the girl and she say, don't look at me. You know, because they forgot to bring the cannonball. You know, they have the cannon, but they have no cannonball. They could not shoot. Do you understand? Thank you very much.
It was like Andy made himself the premise, and the entire world was the punchline.
This is a love song. Oh, I love you. Give me a kiss, 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 kiss. My love is true. Give me a kiss, kiss, kiss. Why do you do me like this, this, this? Because I love you. Give me a kiss, kiss, kiss.
I was being told by all the comedians who were in the business for a long time and all the managers and agents, they said, give it up, kid. No one will ever understand your humor. No one will ever understand what you do. You'll never make it on television.
In 1978, the producers of a new, brilliant TV sitcom, Taxi, offered Andy the role of a hapless mechanic, Latka Gravis, which had been created with this foreign man character in mind.
I am going to alter my lifestyle to fit the fast lane.
When I first got Taxi, he was this guy that, had a special contract and who was supposed to have split personalities. And, I was from New York, and, he wasn't, I thought he'd last about a half an hour in the neighborhood I was from.
One thing I do know is Andy would not want to be remembered just for Taxi, because Taxi was kind of a thorn in his side that everywhere he went, people wanted to see Latka.
The success of Taxi brought Andy Kaufman fame beyond his wildest dreams, but he was frustrated by the mundane routine of appearing on a weekly sitcom.
At this point, celebrity was beginning to rub him the wrong way. He didn't like that he was becoming a star, and that he was somehow different or better than another human being.
He didn't play the Hollywood game at all. He did not care about the Hollywood game. He didn't care about people who were famous. He didn't go to the parties.
A lot of times the cast of Taxi would go roller skating, and they would say, "You want to go skating?" And Andy said, "No, I got a job. I got to go to this job."
Andy's fans were shocked to learn that Andy's other job was a busboy at a local deli.
Every week I work as a busboy in a restaurant in Hollywood.
That's what I heard. Elaborate a little bit. Why?
Well, I like the work. It's the first work that I ever did when I graduated high school. And I like to keep doing it. And, no matter how I might become known to the public and maybe have a TV show or something, I always want to keep my feet on the ground in that busboy job.
So it was very important for him to keep a childlike sense about himself in life as far as what his celebrity was, his strangeness, his act, because he realized that was working for him.
Oh, the cow goes moo, and the dog goes whoop, and the cat goes meow, the bird goes tweet, and the pig goes oink, and the lion goes roar, and that's the way it goes. Say, I've got an idea. Let's all sing the song together, okay? Now, this time I'll sing the name of the animal, and you sing what the animal says, okay? Okay, every time I say okay, everybody say okay. Okay. Very good. Okay. Now, okay. Now, okay. Okay. Now, this is what we'll do. When we get to the lion, everybody say roar, real loud. Okay? Okay. And let's try it. 1, 2, 3. Oh, you can do better than that. Come on, let's try it again. 1, 2, 3. Very good. And now we'll all sing, and that's the way it goes. Okay? Okay. Oh, the cow goes moo, and the dog goes whoop, the cat goes, and the bird goes, and the pig goes, and the lion goes, and that's the way it goes.
He was a strange dude. There's no two ways about Andy. I mean, he was extremely special and one in a billion, you know. But as much as I loved him, in the end, it was very difficult. He stopped coming to rehearsal.
Oh my God.
Maybe there was so much friction between he and the cast that the producers thought it might be better for him to be around as little as possible.
Well, he wasn't overjoyed doing Taxi because it was confinement to him, although great confinement, but he was restricted by, you know, lines that people had written for him, and Andy was sort of a, you know, he was his own creator.
I think he felt very stifled, and he'd be going through his script and going, oh good, I'm not in that scene, oh good, I'm not in that scene. So opposite what you think somebody would be doing. And so I felt he got a little frustrated.
A new and unforgettable personality now appeared on the scene. His name was Tony Clifton. Oh boy.
One of the characters that he created, Tony Clifton, was an incredible character. I found it incredibly entertaining. Most of the people just sat and scratched their heads. And, you know, when Andy would be on shows, he would deny that he was Tony Clifton. And Tony Clifton would always deny, you know, having anything to do with Andy Kaufman.
So then Tony Clifton was there. And Tony Clifton, oh my God. Tony Clifton would then go on Dinah Shore and get in a big fight with Dinah, and I was there. He did pour eggs over her head. It were dripping off the woman. Security was called. Tony Clifton was hauled out of the place and thrown out the front gate by the seat of his pants.
Tony Clifton opened for Rodney Dangerfield, and by the third night, Bill Graham had to put chicken wire up, you know, to protect Tony Clifton, you know, because people were throwing stuff at him.
By now, insiders in the industry played along with Andy's denial that he was Tony Clifton. Whenever Clifton appeared, there was an unspoken understanding that it was actually Andy Kaufman.
Are you trying to be funny? Are you trying to be funny? Come here. Come here. Why don't you get off the stage? Why don't you get off the stage? What are you growing there, huh? Tell me. No, come here back. Oh, I was only kidding around. Come here. What do you do for a living? What do you do for a living?
I work in a restaurant.
What do you do?
I cook.
Oh, you cook, huh? Yeah. What are you, what are you growing there, bowling ball? Hey, you fatso. Oh.
So, somewhere along the line, Tony Clifton entered Tony Clifton.
It's all in fun. Come on, it's all in fun. Come on. Come on up. Come on. Come on, Bob. Hey, put it there. Hey, all right. Hey, listen, Bob. Yeah, you got a sense of humor. You got a sense of humor? You got a sense of, because it was all in fun. Please forgive me, okay? My apologies. You want to see some humor? You want to see humor? Yeah, I'll show you humor. That's humor, pal. That's humor. Oh, everybody say, oh, come on. Oh.
Andy did not want to do Taxi. He did not want to be on a sitcom. So the deal was that he would take Taxi, but they had a promise, 4 episodes of Taxi, to Tony Clifton.
When Andy's alter ego, Tony Clifton, showed up to shoot his scenes, all hell broke loose on the Taxi set. I'll say.
He was late for rehearsals. It just wasn't working out too well. So after a few days of rehearsal, Ed Weinberger calls me. He said, George, this Tony Clifton thing isn't working out. He's drinking, he's not a good actor, and we're concerned about that. We're losing time here. I have to fire him.
I'm sitting up in some sort of bleachers, as I recall, looking down, and the door bangs open from the back, and Clifton comes in with 2 women who clearly are hookers. I mean, these weren't actresses; they were the real thing. And he, you know, appeared to be drunk. And I think at that point, as I recall, they informed him that he was fired.
Judd is wacko down on the set, so I said, I'm not missing out on this, and I run back down. And you know, by this time, Mary Lou's gone nuts. Tony's ready to kill him. You know, everybody's screaming at him, you know. And so they call Paramount Security. And they drag him out bodily, screaming and yelling.
Andy was exuberant. He said, "This is great. This is one of the greatest days of my life. This is theater of life. This is theater of the street."
Although Andy Kaufman remained a cast member on the show, Tony Clifton was fired.
The reality is that most of the time, Tony Clifton was played by Andy Kaufman's writer, Bob Zmuda.
Kaufman's been using my name to get places.
And so there is no truth to the rumor that you're actually Andy Kaufman.
There's no truth to that one whatsoever. That's total fabrication on your part.
Well, no, I didn't. I mean, a lot of other people have said that.
Yeah, I know many people are saying that, but many people say a lot of things.
In 1977, Andy shot a 90-minute special for ABC, Andy's Funhouse. It was a kids' show for adults, including a very special guest.
When he had Howdy Doody on his special, this was something really important to him. It wasn't a comedy bit, it wasn't frivolous. He loved Howdy Doody from a comedy kid's heart. And his whole outlook in life was childlike.
But the executives at the network were very confused by Andy Kaufman's ideas of entertainment.
Well, hi, Cindy.
Well, hi, Andy.
How are you?
Well, I'm just fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine.
Good, good.
Thank you for coming.
Well, thank you for having me.
Okay.
And he almost could not believe that people didn't know he was joking, that they didn't know that it was all part of his performance.
It just went too overboard or something.
How does it feel to be a has-been?
I'm sorry, Mr. Kaufman, I never considered myself a has-been.
If you're not a has-been, though, how come you went to medical school?
I just had this calling. I thought I wanted to help mankind, and I thought the best way possible was to go into medicine.
And how come you quit medical school? Did you wanted the spotlight back on you, and you wanted all the fuss made
Well,
about
I
you and
just
everything?
decided that where I really belonged was in front of the lights.
Uh-huh, yeah. Well, that's great. I hope that you make it.
Thank you.
I really do. Personally, I don't think you will. No, I'm not. No. I was always a fan of professional wrestling. I've always loved it and watching it.
And what does he go and do? This incredibly risky set of routines based on this professional wrestling performer dynamic.
And at the time, wrestling was still pretty much of a taboo issue. You know, it was off the beaten path. I mean, most people in show business avoided it like the plague. It still had all the old stereotypes. And most of Andy's friends were warning him, you know, you got to watch it. Don't get too involved with this thing.
Andy began wrestling women everywhere, in his concert performances, national television shows, even in restaurants and on airplanes.
It was a little strange when you started seeing him wrestle women, because it was, you thought at first, how quaint, and then later on it was like he's checking out with the baggage. He started challenging these women. You know, he would bring up 5 or 6 women and then he'd have the audience pick. And you could see the whole audience. I saw people standing back going, even a tragically hip Hollywood audience going, oh, this is fabulous. I really don't believe this. And after a while going, kill him! Get him, nail him, hurt him!
Now, I'm not saying women are mentally inferior to men, because when it comes to things like cooking and cleaning, washing the potatoes, scrubbing the carrots, raising the babies, mopping the floors, they have it all over men. I believe that. But when it comes to the wrestling, when it comes to them getting in the wrestling ring, there's nothing up there. They're all oatmeal north of the eyebrows. They're all, we Tina for brains, you know what I mean?
I just thought he was misguided terribly.
He's a real nerd, a real jerk. He is.
I will pay $1,000. I'll take on anybody who wants to come in that ring and volunteer. I don't think you can do it. You know why? Because I'm going to send you back to the kitchen where you belong. I'm going to have you scrubbing the potatoes and washing the carrots because that's where you belong, ladies.
Andy was still the undefeated world intergender wrestling champion. But after more than 300 bouts, he felt that he needed a change of venue. He set his sights on the professional wrestling arena, and one wrestler in particular, Jerry Lawler. On April 5th, 1982, at the Mid-South Coliseum in Memphis, Tennessee, Andy took on Lawler in a very real wrestling match held before 10,000 bloodthirsty fans. They were not disappointed. They hated him. Lawler dropped Andy on his head in an illegal move called a pile driver, sending Andy to the hospital for 3 days.
They brought an ambulance into the Coliseum. They put Kaufman into the ambulance, and away they go. Taking Andy Kaufman to the hospital. He is there right now as the ambulance pulls out of the Coliseum. Kaufman is in the intensive care unit at St. Francis Hospital. He has had a battery of tests, and it is believed that he is not seriously injured. He'll be in the hospital at least overnight. But one thing for sure, according to his manager, Andy Kaufman's wrestling career is over.
I think, yeah, I was nervous. I was worried about Andy, and then the neck brace and stuff. But you know, you never knew. I mean, you never knew with Andy.
You just didn't know with Andy. You see, you never was sure.
The next thing I know, he's on Letterman being slapped.
This time it's for real.
And to this day, I have no idea whether it was real or not. And the audience never knew whether it was real or not.
You are full of my friend. I will sue you for everything you have. I will sue you. You're a as far as I'm concerned. You hear me? I will get you for this.
I don't know if Lawler really knows. I'm sure Letterman doesn't know, and Andy may not know himself. That's the most amazing thing about it.
But you're a
Whether he was surprised by the slap, I don't know. Whether Lawler really was mad at him, I don't know. But Andy knew he was getting entertainment value out of whatever the hell was happening on that stage and knew to go with it.
Well, I've never been able to actually tell the story of what went on at the David Letterman show. I finally felt that I had had enough of Kaufman, and I did slap him, and you know, maybe I lost control there for a little bit. I understood from the David Letterman people that I became the first talk show guest to ever strike another guest. But anyway, I felt he had it coming, and Andy Kaufman went on the biggest tirade that you could ever imagine. There's no sailor that's ever been able to come up with this stream of obscenities that came from Kaufman. But then he picked up the cup of coffee and threw it at me, and of course I went after him. And
I thought if anything could sober him up, that would.
I think from that point, or I think at that point, especially, you know, with his conduct there in front of all of those people, I think that's where he really might have lost it right there.
His enormously successful Carnegie Hall concert and the airing of his previously unseen ABC special made his fans eager to see what this unpredictable entertainer would do next. But even Andy's admirers were shocked by the chaos he caused on the comedy show Fridays.
Hey, this is so much fun. It's so much fun. Come on. All right.
And they cut the commercial, and it was wild. It made headlines across the country. Every paper in every city said Andy Kaufman breaks out of a live show.
Why do you have to push this in my face? Why do you have to push this in my face? I'll put it all in your face.
This is my big scene in the show. That's why.
Why?
Okay.
So what do you have to? What? Look, I'm just trying to have fun. Everybody's so uptight around here. Everyone is so uptight around here. I don't understand.
Bobby, go to commercial, man.
What? Why do you have to be so tough? What?
Work up to me. Come on, man.
Any confrontation to him was funny. He would laugh at you because you were getting angry at him, which of course could drive you insane.
I think he loved to see people just lose it, you know, and just because it was good theater.
Andy, in essence, said, screw you, this is me, you can hate me. Did I get to you? Did I get to you? That was Andy, and more often than not, he did.
Andy never let you off the hook, you know? Everybody else had an out. Hey, folks, that was a joke I just told. Andy went home, put his head on the pillow, and went to sleep knowing that most of the audience was going, he doesn't really feel that way, does he? That takes guts.
After all the confusion he had generated, no one, including some of Andy's closest associates, knew what to believe or disbelieve about his antics. Many were convinced they were watching the unraveling of a remarkable career. But Andy couldn't have cared less. He gleefully carried on, leaving a trail of bewilderment in his wake.
This time you've gone too far. That was vulgar, disgusting, reprehensible. Mr. Kaufman, you are banned from television. You are off the air.
Wait a minute, you can't take me off the air. You can't cut me off just like that. Hey,
and then, after a very successful 5-year run, it was announced that ABC was canceling Taxi.
His big fear is that he would only be remembered from Taxi. That was his big fear. And we know what he thought about the American sitcom and his work on Taxi as really low rent compared to his real art form.
Granted, it made him a big star. It made him a household name, which enabled him to do all the stuff, a lot of the stuff that he did. So I think he might have had a slight tinge of regret because of that.
All right, Kaufman, this ought to teach you a lesson. You can keep your warped sense of humor here for a few years, you bum.
Oh no. What am I gonna do? Oh. Spending a few years in this place. Oh boy. Oh, I really blew it this time. Oh. Oh, I really did it this time.
At the end of 1983, Andy and Lynn were living in San Francisco. He was at a turning point in his career. He was tired of his old routines and was working on fresh material. In December, just before Christmas, Andy went to see his doctor to check on a persistent cough that had been troubling him for some time. The outcome of this routine examination proved to be devastating.
And I went to Cedars with him, Cedars-Sinai Hospital in Los Angeles, and we met with the doctors, and they told him he had lung cancer.
So they did some further diagnosis. And I remember then sitting down with the doctor and them saying, there's not that, we really can't do anything except possibly slow it down, you're going to die.
And looking over this completely healthy, vigorous individual who was the happiest guy that I have ever seen, that was a shock. It was a shock. I mean, I remember, Andy used to have a house full of health food, and, he had no bad habits.
He was so brave, never complained. I mean, totally just did whatever he had to do to fight it.
He went to alternative medical people and not, he didn't opt for the cancer life. He sort of kept trying to find a way out of it till the very end.
A friend of his called and told him about this miracle thing they do in the Philippines called psychic surgery. Neither of us had ever heard of it before.
Andy placed his hopes of recovery on a faith healer who could seemingly reach into the body and remove disease. He, Lynn, and later Bob Zmuda flew to Baguio City in the Philippines in search of a cure.
So we were there for 6 weeks. And at first Andy did start getting better because I think he really did believe in this. He didn't question this.
And the body opens up, it's bloody as all heck, and the tumors are pulled out. Well, I'm an ex-magician, you know, and I, of course, catch on that he's palming things. This ain't real. And I talked to Lynn about this because I'm going, well, should we tell him? But yet this is Andy's last hope. This is it.
For the first few weeks, Andy felt very positive that the procedure was working. But by the 5th week, the cancer had taken hold and he suffered a relapse. Andy decided that the treatments were not helping, and he, Lynn, and Bob flew back to Los Angeles. Back home, the news of Andy's impending death, which had hit the tabloids, was met with complete skepticism.
At what point are people going to say, I don't buy it anymore? Well, they did get to that point. And finally, when Andy came off and said, I'm dying of cancer.
The thing I thought was totally amazing was that the day it finally happened, I'd say at least 70–80% of the country totally didn't believe it.
And my husband came in and said, Andy is sick. It's in the papers. And I said, oh, no, he's not. He's not sick. He's just, you watch, he's going to play this out and he'll find a healer and he'll be miraculously healed on NBC. And then he died. And I couldn't believe it. I still don't believe it. You know, I thought he was just doing an Andy. I thought he was doing an Andy.
First I was afraid, I was petrified. Kept thinking I could never live without you by my side. And then I spent so many nights thinking how you did me wrong. And I grew strong, and I learned to get along, and now I'm back.
1 year later, on the anniversary of Andy's death, these rumors were given new life by an appearance by Tony Clifton. The room was packed that night, with the audience fully expecting Andy Kaufman to reappear.
Walk out the door, don't turn around now, 'cause you're not welcome anymore.
He was always saying he wanted to take a long vacation and then reappear, come back to life. Some people say he's really dead, and probably he is, but I wouldn't put it past Andy to show up one day.
I got all my life to give, I will survive, I will survive, I will survive.
Goodbye, everybody. Be good, and I love you very much. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, are we off the air? Where is my hamburger? Who wants to wrestle? Come on. Who wants to wrestle? Come on.